Hi, my name is Samantha Wright, and I did my project on lactose intolerance. What is lactose intolerance and what causes it? Lactose intolerance is when the body cannot digest lactose, which is a sugar commonly found in many milk products. What causes this intolerance for lactose is the lack of lactase found in the small intestine. Lactase is bound to the microvilli on the epithelial cells that line the lumen of the small intestine. Your body needs this enzyme in order to properly break down the sugar lactose. How does lactase work? Well, lactase breaks down lactose. Lactase is also an enzyme. Lactose binds to the active site found on lactase. By the way, lactose is a disaccharide, meaning a sugar consisting of two simple sugar molecules. Lactase then converts lactose into glucose and galactose, which are monosaccharides or simple sugars. Glucose and galactose are then absorbed by the microvilli found on the epithelial cells that line the lumen of your small intestine. What exactly is lactase and how is it made? Like I said many times before, lactase is an enzyme that breaks down lactose. Lactase starts at pre-prolactase. After cleavage of the signal sequence, pre-prolactase turns to prolactase. Prolactase is then glycosylated and sent through proteolytic processing inside the cell, and then it turns into intracellular lactase. Intracellular lactase then gets exported and anchored to the microvilli on the epithelial cells that line your small intestine. Now it is transmembrane lactase and can be used to break down lactose. What exactly are the symptoms of lactose intolerance? The symptoms of lactose intolerance can span from mild to very severe. Symptoms begin 30 minutes to 2 hours after consuming anything that contains lactose, mainly milk products. Such symptoms include bloating, abdominal pain, grumbling sounds in your stomach, loose stool, diarrhea, or even as severe as throwing up. Who actually gets lactose intolerance? Well, first off, individuals with a family history of this disease are very predisposed to developing it. Also, an individual who has just had a short-term illness, such as influenza, can develop lactose intolerance due to the small intestine not making enough lactase or not making lactase at all. Also, someone with a long-term illness like cystic fibrosis can also develop lactose intolerance for the same reasons. Lastly, someone who has just had part of their small intestine surgically removed can develop lactose intolerance as well. How is lactose intolerance diagnosed? Well, first, your doctor may question you about your symptoms that you get after consuming products that contain lactose. Then, your doctor may order a hydrogen breath test. A hydrogen breath test works by measuring the amount of hydrogen you breathe out after consuming a drink that has a lot of lactose in it. Hydrogen will only be in your breath if the bacteria in your large intestine are feeding off of undigested food, such as lactose. If the bacteria are feeding on this lactose, lactose is not being properly digested in the small intestine, so you may be lactose intolerant. Also, your doctor may order a blood sugar test as well. What is the treatment for lactose intolerance? Well, there is no cure for lactose intolerance. The only thing an individual who is lactose intolerant can do is limit milk product intake. Also, someone who is lactose intolerant can take dietary supplements that contain lactase in order to help you digest any amount of lactose that you do consume. Also, a calcium supplement is usually recommended for individuals who are lactose intolerant because those individuals will reduce the amount of calcium they intake because they are reducing amount of milk product they are intaking as well. These following things are milk products that contain lactose: milk, cottage cheese, yogurt, whey, dry milk solids, and curds. Individuals who are lactose intolerant should avoid eating or drinking these things. How does an individual live with lactose intolerance? Well, first, they limit the amount of lactose they intake by watching what they eat or drink and making sure it does not contain lactose. Also, they take a lactase enzyme pill or lactase supplement to help them digest any amount of lactose that they do consume. Individuals who are lactose intolerant usually also consume a calcium supplement to be sure they're intaking enough calcium, since they are decreasing the amount of milk products they are consuming. Calcium is very important in the human body, and we need this molecule to carry out certain processes. Also, individuals who are lactose intolerant eat or drink products with a lot of vitamin D, because vitamin D is important in absorbing the calcium that you consume through those calcium supplements.